but they're not training their VAs to think like COOs. They're not training them to think like business managers. And so when Dustin or when listener, when you join $1 Million Machine, I don't want the founder to be in my weekly calls. The founder is amazing at like selling and serving and speaking and hosting events and podcast. Like, go and do your thing. I want the VA, I want the business manager, I want your fractional COO to come work with me because, spoiler alert, like your COO doesn't know anything about technology.
You kind of got like the basic table stakes of one before you can kind of move to the next, but then it's not like when you create the culture in step 5 or the actualization, then now you're done, right? Like then you'll have another offer and then you'll have to like change your marketing again. And, so it is iterative and ongoing. So I would think a lot of our audience, when you kind of think of them in that way, like transformation, connection, communication or marketing, organization, actualization, I think a lot of our audience would probably be like, I only think of the first 3, right? Like I know I got to get an offer and I got to have some good marketing and I got to be able to sell it. And maybe they feel like it sounds almost too aspirational to be like, and at some point I got to figure out like an organization and actualization, especially actualization, right? We're thinking of this like hierarchy of needs. It's like, oh man, where do you usually kind of fit into that pie? Do you address all 5, or you're like, hey, once you've kind of got the first 3 going and you're starting to feel the pressure that this is about to break, or I'm at my breaking point, I'm at my personal capacity, I need help, you come in and really do 4 and 5, or where do you see yourself fitting in best with this?
So the really cool thing about this, I think it was the first time you were personally hearing a lot of this stuff. Like, everyone needs all 5 at all times.
Sure.
But like Dustin's version of actualization, okay, you teach us about actualization in the accelerator. Like, what's your vision statement? It's 1 line. Like, that's enough. That's all you need when you're just starting out. When clients, we're talking about the scorecard in a bit, like I have thought through the maturity model of a small business owner. So when you're just starting out, you are like a pop-up pilot. Think of yourself as like the food truck that shows up on Tuesday nights to the park square, like experimenting with your hamburger.
Yeah.
At some point, what we say, when you hit 200K, you now become a committed cafe. Like, you're committed to this journey. You probably quit your full-time job. You're in it to win it. And from 200K to about 750K in revenue, you are in this committed cafe stage. At 750, you become a booming brasserie. You start to have lots of activity. Maybe you have a second offer in the business. And till about 1.5 million, you're in that booming brasserie phase. Then you become a 5-star food empire. And then at 3 million, you become what I call a Michelin designed masterpiece, a business that is one of one, that is uniquely known around the world for what it does. If you think of, I can't remember, the guy in Italy, Osteria, Massimo Bottura is one of the restaurants. I mean, all these chefs, they have their one iconic restaurant that people become known for. And when you think of your business, you become known for that one thing. So, Dustin's the 7-figure leap guy, Ernesto's the $1 Million Machine. Everyone, Tiago Forte's the building a second brain. Like, everyone becomes Donald Miller, the story brand guy. Like, we become the one of one people in that brand. And at each step of these 5 phases, you have a little bit of transformation, a little bit of connection, a little bit of communication. It just looks a little different all throughout the way. And that's what I help people kind of navigate and configure as they are going through those processes.
Okay, that's super helpful. I'm glad I asked it that way, in that you always have all 5, but different ones will be emphasized at different stages. And I would think also the entrepreneur is going to be innately strong or focused on different parts, different recipes, and they're going to need more help with others, right? And so I would imagine a lot of people you work with are more visionary. Maybe they're good at their offer. They're good at delivering the thing they do. They've got some sort of special expertise. I'm guessing many of them are not good at, or not as good, at the more growth oriented things like the organization, the actualization, like especially the organization. Like, that's one that jumps out to me when I think of the thing I don't do well, or the thing I don't naturally do well, and I have to have who's in my corner to help support, is the organization, the scaling, the systems, the SOPs, the stuff that I'm like, I guess I need to do that, right? Because it's not like the thing that fires me up, but I also have felt the pain and experienced the pleasure of not doing that and doing that well. And it's super necessary. And that's where, having someone like Ernesto who loves that stuff is a great compliment in the business buildings. But did I summarize that right? I mean, so you get these 5 phases. I love the restaurant analogies: the pop-up, the cafe, the brassiere, the 5-star food empire, all the way up to a Michelin designed masterpiece, which I really like. That is like you have a truly unique offering, a unique identity in the marketplace. I think that's like the aspirational identity for most people that listen to this, is like, man, I want to be known for something. Story brand, self-publishing, kit, hopefully 7-figure leap, right? $1 million machine, that you sort of become synonymous with an experience that everyone knows you deliver better than anyone else. And I do agree. I think 3 million and up is like kind of usually the threshold where people start to become known as in that way. So,
yeah, you capture that exactly. The what you didn't say, well, I didn't say it either. You alluded to it. You said, "Oh, I am not really great at setting up the systems," and for Dustin or any entrepreneur to hire a consultant like me, a fractional COO, a true fractional COO, to come in. And I'm not going to reveal numbers, but I do know, like, you made over a 5-figure investment to bring someone in to help you with a couple of things, light touch. We'll meet with you for a couple of sessions. That's not enough. Like, that's not going to give you the lift that you really need.
Yeah.
And so what I'm really committed to is not coming in and coaching the founder like once a month. And no, that's not really what I'm focusing on. But there is a massive population of people on the planet right now that are vastly underutilized. And people like the VAs in the Philippines, I'm going to like hire for $6 a day and I'm going to like scale to the moon. It's like, no, you're not. I mean, yes, maybe you're going to hire someone for $10 an hour, but like, you get what you pay for. And these VA agencies, like, they're telling you that they're training their VAs. They are a little bit. But they're not training their VAs to think like COOs. They're not training them to think like business managers. And so when Dustin, or when listener, when you join $1 Million Machine, I don't want the founder to be in my weekly calls. The founder is amazing at like selling and serving and speaking and hosting events and podcast. Like, go and do your thing.
Right.
I want the VA, I want the business manager, I want your fractional COO to come work with me because, spoiler alert, like, your COO doesn't know anything about technology or doesn't know how to like really tap in to the wizardry that tools like Notion, tools like that, like the magic that can be unlocked. Well, the art of that Will Guidara is talking about, like, the COO knows how to get things done and knows how to like move the ball, but doesn't know how to like implement the tech to take that next level.
I love that.